Hey, mom business owners. In this episode, I'm going to explore ways to give up the mom guilt for Mother's Day this year that you may be feeling for expanding your life and pursuing your goals and your dreams through your business. Welcome to a special Friday episode of the Good Enough Mompreneur podcast. I'm your host, Angela Mishuli. Happy Mother's Day. I have been thinking about this episode. It's a special one because being moms is what really brings us together as mompreneurs. For many of us, spending more time with our children, providing more for them, showing them what's possible is really a large part of the why we have created a business, why we have taken steps to do the uncomfortable. But oftentimes we can find ourselves feeling guilty, right? We can find ourselves thinking we aren't enough to our children, and everyone else in our lives, and we feel guilty for maybe not spending as much time with our children because we're developing our business, or that we're having a business or special interests or things for ourselves at all. So I want to introduce you to a very important concept called expander parenting. And I heard about expander parenting, and it really changed my perception about what it is that really holds so many moms back from living the life that they really want to. So Tracy Litt, and you can find her at The Litt Factor, she created the concept of expander parenting, and it is her mission to eradicate mom guilt. And in eradicating mom guilt, she says that she wants you to stop trying to be a quote-unquote good mom, because that is old programming that really creates this concept of martyrdom that makes us resentful. And I quickly want to run down the 4 pillars of expander parenting, so you can really get a sense of the paradigm shift that we need to have as mothers who are growing and flourishing in our businesses, so we can not only expand ourselves, but actually be the best version of ourselves for our children, which is really what we should be focusing on. So quickly, the 4 principles of expander parenting are prioritizing yourself over your martyrdom. How many times have you just skipped things? Her example is like a workout or a girls' weekend, or you're consistently sacrificing yourself and your time for others. Then, number 2, dropping this idea that you can do it all. Like, you can't do it all, especially if you're running a business. You can't be a mom in the same way that you were before you ran a business, or maybe we're just working. And we begin to get resentful because we're trying to do it all. We adopt this concept that we're supposed to do it all. And so we keep trying and we build the resentment, and it just doesn't work. So the second pillar that expander parenting wants you to understand is that you can't do it all, and that actually asking for help is a superpower. So number 3 is focusing on quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is some people will use the excuse of not spending more time with their children so they don't start their business or follow their passions. Well, when they are not doing that, they are with their children, but they're on their phone all the time. Or maybe they're with their friends or whatever. So it's not quality time with their children. Well, what if you took the time to expand your business, followed your passions, spent less time with your children, but it was truly quality time that was undistracted, focused, and doing things that you all love to do. You're feeling fulfilled, so your bucket is full to give to your children, and your children see you happy, so they're happier. And then they're also happier because you are purposeful and intentional about spending quality time with them. That's a great concept, right? So number 4 is trust that when you thrive in life's goals, your children will too. And I just kind of explained that cycle, and that the mom guilt can keep holding you back. But if you move past that, you embrace living your life authentically, doing what it is that you're truly passionate about, then that leads to your happiness. And then your children see you happy and living a conscious, fulfilled life. And then you're demonstrating possibilities to them. You're not just telling them, hey, go do and be whatever it is you want to be. You have to walk the walk. So if you are having guilt, understand that there are ways to eradicate that guilt. You have it there to keep you small, to keep you safe. You have a huge responsibility as a mother. But expansion can be counterintuitive. But someone like Tracy Litt really points out that expansion is exactly what we should be running towards, not running away from. So I hope this episode left an impact on you. I hope I planted a seed if you're feeling guilty for doing all that you're doing. Realize that you're not doing it in a vacuum, that you are having a very large impression on the children in your life. So I think you're amazing. Thank you for listening. I totally believe in you. And the next time you feel the mom guilt creep in, stop and think, what is really the source of it? So thank you so much for listening. I feel incredibly grateful to have you as a listener. I want to invite you, if you're loving this podcast, to please leave us a review. It really is so important to have reviews to help other mompreneurs and moms and entrepreneurs find the podcast, and then share the episode. And then also be sure to subscribe, because I have another amazing mompreneur interview coming to you next week. So I hope you have an incredible Mother's Day where you feel appreciated, you feel fulfilled, you feel like the world is abundant with opportunities for you, because it truly is. And if you're not feeling that way, maybe looking more into expander parenting, and I will leave links below to all of the information I talked about today, will help you move past that guilt. So thank you so much for listening. And on Friday, I am recording this. It's also Military Spouse Appreciation Day. I used to be a military spouse, so I definitely understand all of the sacrifices, all of the deployments, all of the moves, all of those things that are required of military spouses to support, someone that they love and their families as part of the military. So thank you so much for your sacrifices. I hope you have an incredible weekend, and thank you so much for listening. And on Monday, I will release a new interview. I can't wait to share it with you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.